What stands between man and eternal bliss? What is that one thing? It is the lack of realization that we are going to die, not some theoretical understanding, not some far off possibility, not some eventuality. The heartfelt realization that stabs a man square in the heart when he finally when he finally realizes that he is going to die. Until we learn this, life is an endless stream of events. Until we learn this, we live within the illusion of an abundance of time, and that which is in abundance is never valued. Nature should be more kind to man. It should give man a near death experience at least once a month, just to remind him that his time is running out, to remind him that this papered existence that he lives is about to wither, to remind him not to get too comfortable, to remind him not to take his life seriously, for it is only on lease, to remind him that every grand achievement and every bit of respectability and every drop of his so called reputation is going to fall as common dust. It is said that Alexander the Great once met an Indian sage who asked him, "Alexander, what if you were walking in the desert, dying of thirst, and I had a bottle of water? What would you be prepared to give me for that bottle of water?" To which Alexander replied, "I would be willing to give half my kingdom for that bottle of water." The Indian sage said, "What if the deal was not acceptable to me?" Alexander replied, "Then I would be giving my entire kingdom for that." The Indian sage replied, "You are a very silly man, Alexander. You're devoting your entire life and effort in waging wars and conquering lands. All of this just for a bottle of water?" We are all even more sillier than Alexander, for at least Alexander had a life and death excuse for craving the bottle. We have refrigerators full of water, yet we waste our lives seeking an extra drop. Why do we do this? Because our situation is not as clear to us as it was for Alexander. Alexander knew precisely what he craved. He knew exactly what he was thirsty for. The sage's question had defined the problem so perfectly for him that the solution became clear. Our problem is that, although we thirst, we don't know what exactly we're thirsting for. As a result, we wander through life grasping at shiny and colorful things, hoping to quench our thirst. But the things we find never do the job. The paths we walk are circular rather than linear, and as a result, we go nowhere. The elixirs we drink are filled with salt, and thus we remain thirsty. The dreams we have often materialize, but then they only lead to more dreams. We cry in the quiet of our room, wondering how to escape from our plight, and the more we attempt to escape from it, the more ensnared we become by it. The lonely and thirsty wanderer in the desert is in a far more enviable situation, is he not? His life is simple. He has only one need, and once he gets it, he is content. But may that man never leave the desert. Though he may not realize it, the bare open expanse of the desert is his only salvation. Why? Because if he leaves the wilds of the desert or the paved roads of civilized life, his life will become immediately more complex. Where he once had only one need, he will now have many. Where he once thirsted only for water, he will now thirst for everything under creation. And in doing so, he'll become a far more pitiful creature than he ever was in the desert. Life made a mistake with human beings. It overestimated our ability to see the truth. The truth is that we're only here for a short while, yet the calendar on the walls displays days from here until eternity. The watch winds up instead of down. This is complete deception, is it not? The only worthwhile watch in the world is not the one which counts up, but the one which counts down. Not the watch which tells you what time it is, but the watch which tells you how much time you have left. To know the very day that you're going to die, and to have a watch which tells you exactly how much time you have in your life, that is a life-changing watch. Unless we have a watch like this, unless we have a multitude of near-death experiences, unless we viscerally come face to face with our own demise, we'll never know death. And if we never have the luxury of knowing death, we'll forever suffer the misery of not having lived.